Diner Dash Grilling Green. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Pleasure.
Good to meet you. Am I supposed to clip in here?
You can if you'd like to. Okay, let's clip in.
All right.
All right. Chris?
Yep.
What is Diner Dash Grilling Green?
Well, I'm sure most people in the audience have heard of Diner Dash. It's a huge gaming franchise, and I think that what I'm here to talk about is how we brought Diner Dash to the iPad. Diner Dash Grilling Green is actually a completely ground-up game for the iPad that was available at launch, and the unique thing that we did was we actually worked from the device outwards. So we had this very successful game, and rather than just porting it over and adding high-res graphics like a lot of other developers did, we said, what is this device going to do well? How are people going to want to interact with it differently than our iPhone games or our games on our other platforms? And so we actually set about making very specific features for the device, and those were multitasking, which obviously the device does very well, and the goal with that was to allow people who were, previously when you play Diner Dash on your iPhone or you play it on your PC, you're limited by that single click. You have linear points of input. With the 11 points of input on the iPad, you're touching with both hands, you're doing multiple fingers. It's very interactive at a level that we've never been able to do with Diner Dash before. So multi-touch was a big one. You can go ahead and run video, yeah.
I think we have a video. I want some video.
Since I'm already doing my spiel, you might as well provide the visuals to back it up.
I know.
So yeah, you can see here you've got the multi-touch support. There's no audio on it. And you can see how the user here is using both hands, and then we actually did gestures. So for the first time, we created this thing called the Touch Cooker 3000, and you're doing gestures to accelerate the cooking. You can see here you're actually rolling sushi, and then you're tapping to chop it up. Again, this is something we've never done in Diner Dash before. You're stirring the soup. And what's really fun about this, and you can see here in this footage, is that this brought a very unique collaborative same-screen two-player But you can see here, we're also supporting both orientations, which very few games are doing right now. So you can play it in portrait or landscape. And that was something we felt like, if you looked at all the Apple promotional material that came out around the launch, that was definitely going to be something that people wanted to do. And then also being able to customize. We didn't know whether people wanted this touch cooker on the left or the right, so we gave people the flexibility of moving it to either side, depending on whether they're left-handed, right-handed, or how they wanted to play it.
How much does this app cost?
It's $4.99. It's in the App Store right now. And it was available at launch. We were excited. We put a lot of effort into making it very specific to the iPad, and that was picked up on by Apple, and we got a pretty healthy amount of promotion around launch because we, again, didn't just port our game over. We actually made it specific to the platform.
That just admit right now, that video made me pretty hungry.
All right.
And I already just ate right over there. Does anyone have a question while we have a moment? Come on, you gotta think of questions. I keep on asking questions every time. Come on, audience.
It's Diner Dash.
It's Diner Dash. So what was, I'm curious, what was the interesting part for you as a developer developing for the iPad?
Well, the interesting part was not having one. That was certainly interesting.
But Apple didn't give you one and then like bolt it to the ground, bolt it to your chest?
No. The interesting part was, going to the whiteboard the afternoon after it was announced and trying to figure out, how we were going to bring our game to this platform in a way that was actually going to work. Downloading the software, looking at what it was capable of, and then just basically a crazy 46-day sprint to the finish line to get this thing done and submit it to Apple on time.
Is there going to be anything added to the game that we could?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're very interested in social networking features and right up your alley in terms of adding the ability to get more social interaction around the application, broadcast your accomplishments and your achievements to your friends, and then we're also we want to add additional restaurants. We've done that with Diner Dash on the iPhone, where you can go in for in-app purchase and buy new content, and that's been successful. So we're already working on version 1.1 of this, and that's our culture. I mean, we're not just fire and forget, put our games on the devices applications. We're constantly updating them. We have live teams that are continuously iterating. We're doing updates about every 6 weeks on all our applications right now.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Does anyone have any last questions? Is there anything from the live stream? Now, those live streamers, you're going to have to step up. We have a question right here.
How long did you guys spend on the interactions, like figuring those out?
Well, we spent time figuring out how we were going to simulate the interactions on the simulator, and then we spent time actually refining them, and then we spent a whole lot of time on Saturday morning when we got our iPads verifying that they actually worked, and now we're working on iterating and updating them so that they work exactly how we need them to. So we're still working on them, and I think that getting that level of responsiveness and refinement is going to be an ongoing thing. But I definitely think that people when they pick up this big screen, they want to try different combinations of things with their hands, and so we're trying those right now. Even we're trying to match, hey, this is fun to do. How does that map to a particular cooking gesture?
I think I saw one more question. Oh, hello?
Yeah, no, we have 3 Dash applications on the iPhone: Diner Dash, Cooking Dash, and Wedding Dash. They're very successful. We've got about 5 million downloads between our paid and our light versions. Diner Dash was recently the #3 overall app, and that's after 600 days in the App Store. So we've got a lot of learnings on the iPhone, and we were able to bring those over to the iPad.
Laura?
So you said that you had to do all the programming for Diner Dash, the new one, on the simulator. When you finally did get your iPad on Saturday morning, were there any weird surprises, or was the simulator really a good thing to work on, and you really got real far with it?
We were really impressed by the simulator. We were able to find some fringe cases, like when you're leaning your arm on it, which we weren't able to recreate in the simulator. But the game is stable, and there wasn't really anything that was totally surprised us. But now we're able to do some test cases we weren't able to do.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Chris? And Laura was demoing her great ability of going to the microphone so that everyone can hear you, including our friends in the live.